said who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool.
The tension between 50 Cent and T.I. has been bubbling for years, but now it's boiling over. Fresh footage shows T.I. boldly calling out 50, challenging him to a versus battle face-to-face, and 50 didn't waste time firing back. Instead of accepting, he dug up old Crime Stoppers ads and courtroom clips accusing T.I. of snitching. That exchange reignited a rivalry that's been simmering for nearly 2 decades. Here's how it all unraveled. It officially blew up on February 6, 2026. I pulled up to the Nightcap podcast with Shannon Sharp and Chad Okocinco Johnson, and he made one thing crystal clear.
I said who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke, though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool.
T.I. put 50 Cent on blast. He wanted the Versus showdown hip-hop fans had been begging for. The Atlanta heavyweight referenced earlier talks about battling Jeezy or Gucci Mane, but those matchups happened without him. This time, he wanted the ultimate North versus South clash, and this wasn't random. T.I. has been pushing for this since 2020, framing it as a celebration of their eras. He stands for Southern trap dominance with classics like Trap Music and Paper Trail. 50 represents that raw New York street energy with Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Fans have been dreaming about this face-off for years, but T.I. didn't just invite 50, he accused him of ducking. He don't want no smoke, he ducking smoke, T.I. said flat out. In hip-hop, that's serious. Calling someone out for ducking questions their authenticity, their courage, their whole brand. And that's a direct hit at 50, whose entire persona is built on fearlessness. T.I. doubled down, saying he'd asked before and 50 kept dodging. He even brought up 50's 2007 sales battle loss to Kanye West, hinting that maybe competition isn't his strong suit. Sure, he mentioned Lil Wayne as a backup option, but let's be real, 50 was the target, and T.I. chose his stage wisely. Nightcap pulls massive numbers. The timing lined up perfectly with the rollout of his final album, Kill the King. Smart move. He knew calling out 50 would spark headlines, streams, and endless debate. And it worked. Social media exploded. Some fans backed T.I., praising his confidence and catalog. Others argued 50's hits would wash him in a battle. But this wasn't just music. It was regional pride, generational ego, don and ego. 2 different visions of what makes a legend. Strategically, T.I. put 50 in a corner. If 50 stayed quiet or refused, it could look weak. T.I. painted himself as the bold king ready to defend his crown, while framing 50 as hesitant. He even pointed to their shared history. Both came from the streets, both fought industry politics, both battled legal issues and questions about authenticity. But underneath it all, this was personal, years of subliminals, old accusations, no real closure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see him, the gentleman, an ambassador of the South, has, now I'm trying to get an update, Tip. You called out 50 Cent and said you want to do the versus
let me tell
battle.
you something, guys. Hey, listen.
Here we go.
Hey, look, let me tell you something, guys. I know what the most entertaining and probably the most relevant, humorous thing for us to talk about. And I guess we could talk about it.
Media outlets jumped on it, calling it the Versus blockbuster fans deserved. The comparisons were everywhere. In that club versus What You Know. A many against a rubber band man. A 21 questions versus a whatever you like. It was nostalgia gold. I also made sure every article mentioned Kill the King in his single Let Him Know. Controversy equals streams. But this wasn't just promo, there was real history here. Snitching claims, subtle disses, social media jabs. This was unfinished business. T.I. threw the first punch publicly. Now everyone waited on 50, the self-proclaimed king of trolling, and his response, exactly what you'd expect. 50 Cent's ruthless reply. He didn't hesitate. On February 6th and 7th, 2026, 50 unleashed classic Instagram warfare. Instead of addressing the Versus challenge directly, he dropped clips meant to paint T.I. as a snitch. The first was T.I.'s 2010 Atlanta Crime Stoppers commercial. In it, T.I. encourages people to report crimes anonymously.
Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIP.
50 captioned it, I know Atlanta pick and choose who they support, but y'all gotta do better. LOL, keep my name out your mouth. He added a plug for his liquor brand because of course he did. Troll and promote, that's the formula. In hip-hop, anything tied to law enforcement raises eyebrows. For 50, that clip was perfect ammo, but he wasn't done. He followed up with 2008 courtroom footage from the murder trial of Hosea Thomas, the man convicted of killing T's best friend, Falant Johnson. T.I. testified after being subpoenaed.
How did Falant's family find out about his death?
I told him. I called his mom first, then I told his cousin. I told his little girl.
How old was his little girl?
His daughter was 4 years old at the time. Five years old at the time.
And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead?
He's in a better place and he won't be coming back. And I told him how much he loved her.
And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone?
Well, first I apologized. I apologized because, I felt that, all of those rounds were fired for me, in my opinion.
50 wrote, no, I don't like it. No versus. Let's do the stay away challenge and stay away from me. Clear message. He wasn't interested. He flipped the conversation from music to character. Instead of debating catalogs, he questioned credibility.
50 Cent decided to wake up this Saturday, February 7th, on the dark side of the bed once again. And if you follow, I done spoke on that before, how I feel 50 Cent does not wake up on the wrong side of the bed in the morning. He wakes up on the dark side. And I say at least about half the month, maybe about 15 days, he gonna get into the capital C's and go at somebody.
The posts blew up, millions of views, endless arguments. Some praised 50's trolling genius, others slammed him for dragging up painful moments. But engagement, through the roof. That's the goal. He's done this before. Yeah, rule Rick Ross the game. Find the sore spot, press it publicly. Turn beef into spectacle, and from 50's perspective, why step into a hits battle when he can control the narrative online? Why risk a loss when Instagram keeps him above the chaos? The Stay Away challenge turned into a meme. Fans debated non-stop, was 50 ducking or just playing smart? The ambiguity worked in his favor. He stayed in control without committing to anything. Meanwhile, fans who wanted the battle felt robbed. Two legends, same era, different coasts. It could have been huge. But 50 made it clear, he's not playing T.I.'s game. T.I.'s defiant comeback, he didn't fold. On February 7th, 2026, T.I. responded calmly through Instagram stories and statements. He didn't match 50's energy. He pivoted.
Y'all decided to respond and play into it and say, I'm gonna use to promote my music. He said, at 50 Cent, I don't fear my past. I'm too focused on the future. Top 20 in 2 weeks and climbing. Now, hashtag let them know that. King, I'm loved, not liked. Hashtag my God don't play about me.
I don't fear my past became his message. He acknowledged the clips, but refused to let them define him. Instead, he steered attention back to Kill the King and I'll let him know. He explained the Crime Stoppers ad was mandatory community service tied to his 2007 weapons plea deal, part of thousands of required hours aimed at reducing his sentence. It wasn't voluntary cooperation. It was court-ordered.
Conversation came from, if we in a case together and I die, put it on me.
God bless.
Put it on me, bro. If I'm dead and you can go home, man, put the case on me. You hear me?
Yeah.
And unless it was some shit I wouldn't be a part of if I was alive, you know what I'm saying? If you got some dope and I'm gone and you're like, man, shit, it wasn't mine, so, man, why not, bro? You still have a life to live after I'm gone. Why would I expect you to, where is the logic in that?
Right.
Where's the logic in that?
As for the courtroom testimony, he framed it as honoring his best friend. Philante Johnson was killed in 2006 when gunfire erupted after a Cincinnati club appearance. T.I. testified because he was subpoenaed. He was a victim. He argued that testifying in your friend's murder trial isn't snitching, it's seeking justice. The law required it. And even if it didn't, what kind of man wouldn't speak on who killed his childhood friend? T.I. supporters also pointed out what they saw as hypocrisy. If a PSA is snitching, what about 50 producing documentaries exposing powerful figures? The debate widened. T.I. maintained there's no paperwork proving he ever cooperated to get someone locked up. And during his prison time, no one treated him like an informant, which says a lot in that environment.
You and 50 got a beef or something, man? Because I seen a post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in, I guess one of the Power, what's the name? I guess two of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show, and then they replaced you with Method Man, and they weren't expecting it or something.
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe. But nah, man, me and 50 cool. I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, we play rough, but we ain't no issue. It's a mutual respect.
Publicly, T.I. downplayed it as a hip-hop entertainment, but fans noticed the irritation. These were events from 2008 and 2010. Why drag them into 2026?
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna tell law-abiding citizens not to call the police,
right,
so I can, not be of benefit to a downward departure. Not gonna do that.
Right.
Because you know why? Law-abiding citizens were gonna call the police anyway.
Yeah.
That's they right.
You're right.
And guess what? Street was never gonna not snitch. Or excuse me, they were never gonna not keep it solid because they seen me on a commercial.
What stood out was growth. A younger T.I. might have dropped a diss track instantly. This version defended his name without spiraling. He stayed composed. The contrast was sharp. 50 weaponized the past, and neither gave the other full satisfaction, which means this rivalry is far from over. The roots of the resentment go deep. This didn't start in 2026. It traces back over 20 years. Regional pride, legal scrutiny, and questions of authenticity. In the early 2000s, 50 dominated New York with Get Rich or Die Tryin'. At the same time, T.I. was shaping the southern trap sound with trap music. Regional tension was real back then. But the real spark came in 2007 when T.I. was arrested on federal weapons charges. Facing up to 30 years, he ultimately received 1 year and 1 day plus probation and community service. The lighter sentence raised eyebrows. 50 publicly questioned it. In interviews, he implied that kind of deal doesn't just happen. In 2008, G-Unit's EU So Tough took subliminal shots at T.I.'s case, hinting that the math didn't add up. T.I. denied any cooperation, saying his plea deal had no snitch clause and pointing to court records backing him up. The tension never fully disappeared. Social media jabs, old footage resurfacing. And in 2020, during the Versus wave, I even challenged 50 on his birthday, bringing up old money issues and reigniting the back and forth. And here we are again, same tension, bigger platform, and still no resolution.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? I am just bringing it to your attention that it is now July the 6th. And I gave you 2 days for a grace period just because I had to get my shit together. I was having a good time, but 5 months, there's an app check for you or a paycheck for me. Thank you. See where you at right now. Let's see where you at right now. 1,000 by July 4th.
50 brushed it off with pure sarcasm, saying, "Yo, somebody passed T.I. the same weed they gave Smokey and Friday. Lol." He joked that if a battle ever happened, he'd open with You So Tough just to set the tone and win T.I. doubled down in September 2020. 50 clapped back by clowning his beard, his catalog, even calling himself a better specimen of a man. Classic 50, dismiss first, troll harder later, but this rivalry runs deeper than jokes. It taps into long-standing cultural tension. 50 embodies New York's claim to hip-hop dominance, often positioning himself as the authenticity referee, deciding who's real and who's not. T.I. represents the South's takeover, pushing back on the old narrative that only East Coast artists define a true hip-hop.
As far in the universe of hip-hop, New Yorkers have the same thing that white people with white privilege have.
Oh, now you tripping.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I like this. I like this stuff.
Of course you do. You white.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
No, I'm not from New York, and I've experienced it my whole time here, so I know where Tip's going.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. New York, the origin, the mecca of hip-hop.
Birthplace.
The origin, the place, the birthplace. Can't never deny that. Can't never take it away. The capital of the financial commerce. You know, y'all got all the money up.
T.I. has openly argued that New York bias inflates certain reputations. In a 2020 interview, he said,
Okay.
If 50 Cent were from the Midwest, he'd be Nelly.
If 50 Cent was from the Midwest, absolutely not. You wildin'.
Nelly got 2 diamond albums.
You just talking about, I'm not even talking about sales. I'm not talking about sales. I'm talking about sound.
All I'm saying is they are pretty much, but shit, the thing is, because y'all got more numbers, the thing.
I'm not even talking about numbers. I'm talking about slaps. I'm talking about songs that bang.
The accusations go both ways. 50 insists T.I.'s legal history chips away at his credibility, the weapons charges, probation issues, and lingering cooperation rumors. In 50's world, street figures don't film Crime Stoppers PSAs or take the stand in court. They handle things without involving law enforcement. T.I. fires back, calling that logic selective. After all, 50 has produced documentaries about Diddy, Jay-Z, and other major black figures, exposing alleged misconduct to the public. If T.I.'s PSA equals snitching, then what does that make 50's documentaries? Different platform, same outcome, spotlighting alleged wrongdoing. To understand this latest flare-up, you have to look at both men's pasts. Neither walked into this clean. Decades of feuds, scandals, and messy headlines shaped how they fight today. Ty record isn't spotless either. His early career included multiple drug arrests dating back to 1997. The 2007 federal weapons case nearly derailed everything. Then in 2010, a probation violation sent him back to prison. Critics have long used those moments to question his image. His feud with Lil Flip in 2004-2005 over the King of the South title escalated into diss tracks and a Houston shootout between camps before Jay Prince stepped in. He clashed with Ludacris over Atlanta supremacy before squashing it in 2007. Shawty Lo challenged his Bankhead roots in 2008, leading to a what up, what's happening? That tension faded after Shawty Lo's 2016 passing.
7 convicted felons. How about the nigga said 7 convicted felons? How you get caught with all these got guns? How?
I don't know.
How?
You tell me.
What deal? You can't even find his records nowhere on this. What deal can you possibly make with the FBI with all these military weapons, silencers, homie? As many as he had with 7 convicted felons.
In 2009, T.I. cut ties with Grand Hustle artist Alpha Mega after court documents revealed he was a D informant. Observers noted the irony, T.I. battling snitch claims while distancing himself from an actual cooperator. Diss tracks followed before Alpha Mega faded from the spotlight. Personal drama also surfaced, his marriage to Tiny Face cheating rumors and a 2016 divorce filing before reconciliation. In 2023, their son King Harris publicly accused T.I. of a long affair with Tiny's friend, Shekinah Joe. The family issues played out online. Most serious were the sexual assault allegations beginning in 2021. Sabrina Peterson accused T.I. of threatening her with a gun and shared DMs from over 30 women, alleging misconduct between 2005 and 2018. Attorney Tyrone Blackburn represented 11 accusers. LAPD's investigated. In September 2021, LA prosecutors declined charges due to the statute of limitations. But in January 2024, a Jane Doe filed a civil suit under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, alleging a 2005 assault. T.I. and Tiny denied all claims, calling them false and extortion attempts. The civil case remains active. Both artists share a pattern. Controversy fuels relevance. Feuds, legal battles, offensive moments. They survive it all through loyal fan bases and tight narrative control. Ty says Kill the King is his final album. At the Grammys on February 1st, 2026, he confirmed plans to step away from music to focus on comedy, acting, business, and family. Let Him Know, produced by Farrell, is positioned as his farewell record.
Why the final album? Like,
it's time.
As T.I. fans, like, we didn't want to hear that shit.
I feel you, but it's been 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's time. You know what I mean? God gifts us with many talents and things that, you know, we have to offer while we're here on earth. I don't want to just spend all my time on earth doing just this one thing. And there's so many other people doing it.
But T.I. has hinted at retirement before and returned. His stand-up career is gaining traction in Atlanta. Acting roles continue. The Trap Music Museum is thriving. He's expanding beyond rap, yet the mic always seems to pull him back. Meanwhile, 50 is thriving post-rap. The Power franchise has generated hundreds of millions. He executive produces multiple shows and keeps new series in development. His liquor brands compete in premium markets. Music is secondary now. Features here and there. No album plans. A Versus showdown? Unlikely. 50 sees little upside. Why risk a loss when he can dominate from the sidelines? Why validate the challenge when refusal keeps him trending? Even the rejection becomes content, and so the tension lingers. Every 50 post boosts T.I.'s visibility. Every T.I. response gives 50 fresh material. The resolution doesn't serve either man. The rivalry continues. Not because it must end, but because keeping it alive works for both. Want more breakdowns like this? Hit the suggested videos on your screen and keep watching.